Alright, let's dive into the wild world of professional golf gear. And no, this isn't just a list of clubs. What we're looking at here is a fascinating mix of cutting-edge tech, personal quirks, and brand loyalty that tells a story about how these players approach the game. And honestly, some of these choices are raising more questions than answers. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see why gear nerds like me lose sleep over this stuff. First up, Aaron Rai. Let's talk about his driver. TaylorMade M6, 9 degrees. Now, the M6 isn't exactly new, but seeing it in play this year? That's interesting. Why stick with a model that's been around the block? My guess? It's all about feel. Some players don't need the latest bells and whistles if their timing with a club is dialed in. But here's the twist. He's got an Aldila Synergy Blue shaft. That's a high-end, tour-grade shaft, but not the most common choice. To me, this screams, I want control without sacrificing pop. But wait, why not go full modern with a newer model? Maybe the M6's forgiveness is a safety net he doesn't need. Or is it just comfort? This is where gear choices get psychological. Now, check out Michael Brennan's setup. Titleist's GT3 driver, 9 degrees. Okay, Titleist's GT line is all about adjustability, right? But here's the kicker. He's mixing that with a Hazardous Smoke Blue shaft. That's a shaft known for being stiff and stable, which makes sense for a player who needs precision. But what's really catching my eye is his iron setup. Titleist T100S and CB620s. The T100 is a player's iron with a bit of forgiveness, while the CB620 is a tour blade. That's a bold combo. Is he hedging his bets between consistency and shot shaping? I mean, 4 to 5 irons are where you want distance control, but the 6 to 9 being CBs? That suggests he's confident enough to work the ball, but still needs a bit of tech help higher in the bag. Alex Noren's Callaway Quantum Max D driver, though? That's a curveball. Callaway's marketing this as a draw-bias stick, and he's got it cranked to the max draw setting. But here's the thing, Noren's game isn't exactly built around fighting slices. So why this club? Maybe it's about trajectory shaping. A draw-bias driver can help lower spin and promote a right-left ball flight, which could be key on certain courses. And then, there's the shaft, Tour ADVS6X. That's a premium, high-launch shaft. So pairing a draw-biased head with a shaft that fights low launch? This feels like a masterclass in counterbalancing extremes. But does it work long-term? Or is this a solve for this week kind of setup? Let's not ignore Tony Finau's Nike Vaporfly Pro 3 iron. Nike's out of the golf game, so this is pure nostalgia? Or is it? Rumor has it Finau's been tinkering with retro tech to find something that clicks. The Vaporfly Pro is known for speed, but it's a 3 iron. That's a club most mortals ditch for hybrids. But Finau's power game thrives on long approaches, so maybe he's chasing that pure, piercing flight. And the Ping Blueprint T irons? Those are compact, minimal offset, old school vibes. But he's mixing them with a Ping wedge and a Vokey SM11. This isn't just brand loyalty. It's a patchwork of what works, regardless of what's trendy. What's the bigger picture here? Look at the wedges. Rai, Brennan, Noren, Finau, all using Titleist or Callaway models with specific grinds. Wedges are where science meets art. The SM11S, Opus SPs, S259S, these are tools for micromanaging turf interaction. But here's the thing many amateurs miss, the shafts. Rai's using S300S in his wedges. That's heavier, stiffer steel. Why? Control. Pros want predictability in their short game, and a heavier shaft smooths out shaky hands. But Brennan's going mixed shafts in his wedges, Project X and DG. That's riskier. Is he experimenting? Or is this a sign of sponsor-driven compromises? And then, there's the ball. Tidlice Pro V1 dominates here. But Noren's on Callaway Chrome Tour. That's a minority pick. Why? The Chrome Tour claims better spin and softness, but Tidlice's consistency is legendary. This feels like a feel versus stats debate. If you're Noren, maybe you're chasing that putter feedback edge. But statistically, how much does a ball really matter? I'd argue less than people think, unless you're in Noren's head and that Chrome Tour gives him a mental boost. What's the takeaway? Pro golfers are walking contradictions. They're both tech geeks and sentimentalists. They'll switch a wedge shaft on a whim, but cling to a driver they've had since college. And that's the magic. Gear isn't just equipment, it's confidence, superstition, and calculated risk. So next time you're shopping for clubs, ask yourself, are you building a setup, or are you curating a mindset? Let me know in the comments. What pro's bag would you steal, and what would you change?